Epic Crafty Hope here, and welcome. It is time for the week 31 mixed media prompt card for hashtag Crafty Hope prompts. This is a challenge I created for myself that I decided that I wanted to make some prompt cards, a prompt deck, basically using a regular old deck of playing cards and some prompts that I put on a list. So I decided that since there's 52 cards in a deck, 52 weeks in a year, this would be a weekly project. And that's kind of what I've been doing since October. Each week I'm pulling 3 prompts from my list of 156 prompts. You can get that full list below if you want a prompt list or want to play along or whatever. But I'm pulling those 3 prompts every Monday and altering one of these playing cards. In the end, I will have a full deck of playing cards or prompt cards that I can pull, and my idea is I'll pull 2 or 3 of them and use like a prompt from each of them or something like that if I am stuck for inspiration. For now, I am just using these prompts to alter these playing cards on Monday, like I said, and then on Saturday I use those same 3 prompts to do a larger project or a different project. This past week I did a tag. I've done junk journal pages and art journal pages. I altered this can that holds my prompts. I did a little house. I've done some assemblage pieces and wall hangings. I even did encaustic wax at one point. It's all been fun. I'm just kind of taking these prompts and seeing where they lead me. You are invited to play along with me by either creating your own prompt deck or using the prompts to do an art journal page or whatever you want to do, and just have fun with it. You can use the prompts that I draw each week, or like I said, print out that list of prompts I have below. And granted, I'm on week 31. Don't let that stop you. This is just about using some prompts when you're uninspired to create. Don't let that stop you from creating. I don't want the fact that I'm on week 31 and you haven't started, or you did start and you got stalled out, stop you from using these prompts if you need some inspiration. That's what it's about. That's why I'm here on YouTube making stuff, is to inspire you to go make some stuff too. So, okay, let's put these up and get to drawing some more prompts. I'm going to try to keep these from falling over because, and we're going to see what our 3 prompts for week 31 are going to be. So, the first one is, I always feel like I need a drum roll, gesso. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, guys, gesso. This is what I have. I also have another big jar that I just bought because this one's almost empty. I'm storing it upside down. Gesso is generally white, but you can also get black gessos, and I think there's gray gessos and gold gessos, but it is like a primer. You know, when you paint a wall, sometimes you need to prime it to prep it. That's kind of what gesso is for art. It is something that gives you a clean working surface. It usually has a little bit of something in it to give it tooth so that other things will kind of stick to it better and adds a little texture. If you don't have gesso, don't fret. Just use some white paint. You know, that's basically, like I said, generally gesso is white. You can buy other colors. It's just like the primer you put on your wall is generally white. If you buy basic primer, it's going to be white. You can get it tinted if you're painting something else. But if you don't have a white gesso, yeah, like I said, just use a white paint. Easy peasy. All right. Or, you know, do some other kind of surface prep. That doesn't have to be, and you don't have to use white gesso. You could use your black gesso or your gold gesso. If there's something you haven't touched and you need to use it, use it. Like I said, I'm here to inspire. All right, so prompt number 2 is, oh, come on. Okay. Mushroom. Oh, y'all. Okay, and that's really funny because I was just looking out of the corner of my eye, something on my desk that I may end up having to use. So you can do this in any way. You can take a photo of a mushroom. You can draw a mushroom. You can use a mushroom sticker or an image from a magazine or something you print out from online. The thing I'm looking at, I've got a bunch of mushroom stamps too. I've got the tiny toadstool stamps from Tim Holtz, and this is also from Tim Holtz, and it's a Thinlits die cut set that has, see, a couple mushrooms in it. And I haven't used this set yet, so it may be what I have to use. And if not for this project, I mean, because my cards are supposed to be kind of quick and fast, I might hold off and do this for my project instead of my cards today. We'll see how I'm feeling, because my tiny toadstool stamps, whew, might be the easier thing to do, but I could do both because I have two sides to work with on these cards. So anyway, you want to use mushroom, go for it. If it's just the word mushroom, I have seen people take actual mushrooms out of their fridge and use them as stamps too. So you could do that as well. Just however the word mushroom inspires you. If the color mushroom, I think there's like a gray brown that's often considered like mushroom brown. So whatever that evokes in you. All right, gesso and mushroom, y'all. These are making me a little bit happier than last week's. That pink though. Okay, tag. Oof. All right. Since I just did a tag last week, I'm probably gonna have to do a tag this coming week for my project as well. So that's a little crazy. Doing a tag on my card is gonna be a little bit more difficult. I may have to find some little tags. Ooh, that's a neat idea. I have some. I think I've got punches that have little tags on them. You could take tags off of your clothes. If you've got like price tags, ooh, that are still on things that you need to peel off, or like those yard sale stickers that are like to tag yard sale items. I might have some of those too. Could be a neat tag. So how does the word tag evoke you? Is it the like luggage tags? Is it a clothing tag or a price tag? Is it something else? Let me know. I mean, is it the game tag? Does that, you know, tag your it? Does that evoke something in you? So, yeah, okay. Gesso, mushroom, and tag. Whew. I've got a couple ideas, but we're gonna get my card out, go pull some things out. Like I said, my gesso's already on the desk, and yeah, we're gonna get started. Okay, so I've gathered some things. Gesso, I didn't even bother. I've got my gesso here. Mushroom, what did I get? I got those stamps I was talking about, the Tiny Toadstool CMS 377. It's a Tim Holtz stamp, and I think I'm missing a mushroom maybe. I thought I saw one on the loose the other day that it's fallen off, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so I got these. I also had recently had something printed out. I don't have a color printer, y'all. So I sent this up to a local copy thing, and I don't remember where I got these. I tend to get a lot of my printable type things just online for free somewhere. I like Dover Publishing as well as the Graphics Fairy. I get a lot of images from, so I will possibly use one of these mushroom images. And then tag. So I went looking. I've got a little thing of tags, but they're all too big for my card. They're like bigger than my card, so that doesn't make any sense. So I thought I had some tiny little jewelry tags, but I don't know where they are. So yeah, if I find them, they might get used on Saturday. But what I did find in my searching was I had this thing of stickers that all look like tags. And y'all, I use this punch all the time with my business. A lot of my jewelry gets tagged with this tag, but I also have these other two paper punches. This one is this long shape, which I think will be perfect to frame up my words, and then I also have this one, which is a little bit bigger. So I grabbed those, and that's, you know, whatever, those could be nice. So I'm going to get started. As usual, I tend to start with collage, and yeah, I'm fairly sure that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to put my words up and we're going to get to this. Oh goodness, y'all. Could I have been any more wordy? I think I've beaten my previous record on long introductions. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, so with my card, I have some acrylic matte medium and a paintbrush that, yeah, I'm just spreading that out. I've got a book page that just was on my desk for something else. And that's what I'm going to use to start my card. I'm going to fold it over and make that both sides of my card. These cards have a really slick plastic lamination on them, and so I can't really, I mean, I could probably start with the gesso, but it would be super smeary, and I've tried a card with that before, and I don't like it. I really enjoy starting pretty much a lot of my like art journal pages or cards or tags or any of it with a little bit of collage, because it kind of it gets your hands moving. It's a really great jumping off point to get that motion of creating in you without really having to think super hard about it. So I'm already like, I've got something on there. That fear of the blank page or whatever is gone, and it's, you've got little distractions, some texture, some movement in the background. So I really like to start with a collage. So I did that, got that kind of basic layer that covers up that plastic card there. And then I'm just picking up some other bits of scraps that are on my desk. That's dictionary page. I'm trying to remember what else I put on here. I don't know. Again, it's just scraps of things that just happen to be on my desk that I'm also using that acrylic medium. I've also used matte gel medium, and even a glue stick to some extent will work. This is one of my little embossed pieces that I had done when I had the embossed prompt, and y'all, it becomes one of my favorite things on at least this side of the card because it adds immediate texture that I'm gonna cover up here with some gesso in just a minute, and it's super neat. I'm really happy with it. I've got to maybe emboss a bunch more things just to have as scraps on this side. So I'm gonna get this out. I think I might. Do I heat dry this? I don't even think I bother with it because I'm like, you know what? If that matte medium mixes with the gesso, okay, so it does. Big deal. So I'm going to put my gesso right down, and you can see that this gesso doesn't completely obscure the writing and things that are in the background. They're still kind of there, but they're just pushed way back. And I love that. For me, that kind of integrates the whole card and makes everything kind of neat. So that is an Amsterdam acrylic ink in, I think it's like warm gray. I'll have the exact name below in the description box under my materials list, with possibly a link to Amazon if I can find one. But I put that on there, and then I'm scribbling with a brown Stabilo Woody, which is a water-soluble crayon type thing. You can use it as a crayon or a pastel, or it, like I said, it's water reactive. But I thought these two colors together really worked with the mushroom theme. They have that like muddy mushroom color, at least like the traditional mushrooms you get at the grocery store anyway. So I put those all in down there just to get me a base over the gesso, and now I'm pulling in these tiny toadstool stamps and my Stays On black ink, and I'm going to stamp a mushroom on here. So I've already got my gesso on here, and I am putting my mushroom down, and then I have to put tag. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to be using one of those paper punches I've got to create little tags. This side is going to be my functional side with my prompt words on it. So I'm keeping it fairly simple. In fact, both sides of this are pretty simple. This may be a long video, but I kind of was just letting myself play with these prompts. So I'm using more gesso here on another scrap of book page just to kind of, again, push the words back, make them not so obvious. You could do this with just white acrylic paint, but since gesso's the prompt, that's what I'm using. And for another touch of yummy brown, I've pulled out my instant coffee. I say this almost every video because I use it almost every video. It's just instant coffee that I have in a yogurt cup. It dries up between uses and I just spray a little water to reconstitute it. And it is one of my most favorite things. If you saw my video yesterday or the video that's right before this one, that's the clean slate one. I might have a short also in my list, but there's a clean slate video for April that I use coffee to paint with, and oh, y'all, the texture on that is amazing. So anyway, I've got my coffee splatters on there, and I use my paper punch to punch out those tags. So I'm going to cut down my words. I took that off camera. Y'all don't need to see that. And I've got a little bit of Distress ink and walnut stain on this dauber, whatever. And I'm inking the edges of my prompt words. That little tag, y'all, it's so tiny with those just 3 letters. I was having a hard time. And I'll use my Oohoo glue stick to glue these down. I don't need any kind of overkill. And a couple of those tags I will ink around them because where I end up putting them on the card, the edges kind of, because I've got the gesso and kind of the same colors on that card, they kind of blend in a little. So yeah, so I'm just going to stick those down. See, this one I'm going to go ahead and ink up. But for some reason, I don't do it for all of them, and I don't know. And the thing, y'all, I was going to try to have those alternate, like the ends of the tags alternate, but somehow I got them in the wrong order, and I'm just not going to let it bother me. It's going to be what it is. And you'll see here when I go to put that one in, it's trying to touch the other one. The working time of that glue stick gives me enough time to still be able to move those things around. So I love that about a glue stick, that the gel of it or whatever gives you a little bit of working time so you can still move things around. It doesn't immediately adhere. So that's fabulous. All right, and I'm going to grab a pen, and I didn't punch holes on my tag, so I'm just going to draw some in and then use that same pen. This is just a Sharpie rollerball pen. And I'll write a 31 in the upper corner after I ink this card with that same walnut stain Distress ink. Decided to go ahead and just bring that into the whole card since it was already elsewhere on there. And I'm going to write 31, and I will flip this card over and get started on my more decorative side. So I'm thinking, anytime you see my fingers tapping in a video, I'm thinking, what is it I want to do? How do I want to start? So I was trying to decide if I wanted to collage or just go straight in with the gesso, and that's what I'm going to do. I love using a brayer with gesso because the gesso itself does have a little bit of texture to it, but if you can add a lot more texture to it depending on the tools you use to spread it out, and a brayer is just a yummy way to get some texture. So I spread that out with the brayer, and I'm going to paint here with some of that coffee. And I'm just going to put it in like those 2 corners there for some reason. I don't know. It just felt right. And then I dried it. And I'm searching my desk for things, and I've decided I'm going to use one of these illustrations, I guess, of toadstools of mushrooms that I've got. So I'm going to fussy cut this one. And y'all, I know that this one has a name. It's something fly Arabic or something like that. As much as I love mushrooms, I really should start learning their names. But when it comes to real mushrooms, I'm very cautious around them. I reserve a special place because I know there are ones out there that can kill you. So I don't even touch mushrooms most of the time. I take lots and lots of pictures of them. If you check out my Instagram feed, most of the nature pictures in it are of mushrooms. I love them. They're so unique, every last one of them. But I'm very cautious around them. So I'm not learning their names helps me keep that kind of level of reverence, I think, because if I knew them, I might get too haphazard and I don't know. I think I'm just being overly cautious about it. So anyway, I inked that image, and I've got some more acrylic ink here, and this is an olive something. Again, I'll have it below. And I started to dry that, but then I realized it wasn't exactly the green that I wanted. So I've got another green. This is just craft acrylic paint. It's Americana's. I think it's called Irish Moss. And I love this color. So I watered it down a little bit and I'm going to splatter it in the background too. And I think there's something about like mushrooms that make me think of moss. Like I love the combination of moss and mushrooms, just that a humid combination of things there. So I think that's why I wanted that moss green in there. So I've got those two and decided, you know what, I'm going to bring gesso in one more way. So I've got this black gesso from Finnabair Prima Marketing, and it was gunked up at the top, so I had to get that off of there. So I'm putting just a tiny bit there in my paint palette and wetting it, and I'm also going to do a little bit of splatter with that black. So it gesso makes a great opaque splatter. I have found some other things that work really well too, especially if you want white, but for a black splatter you really can't beat a black gesso. Alright, so I've got all that splatter going on, and I'm going to dry this and use my Oohoo glue stick to stick down my mushroom image. So, and I still need to bring tag into this in some way. So I've decided I'm going to use those stickers that I've got. I did kind of play around with them off camera to see what would fit on there. And y'all, I was reminded why I haven't used many of these stickers. They are stuck really well to this piece of acetate. And when you go to peel them off, it basically just peels the paper off the front. So this got a little damaged when I went to peel it off. I meant to put a string through the hole that's there, but I was so frustrated by the time I got it off that I was like, oh no. So I tried to peel it up there and it was not going to come up. So I went ahead, and the damaged areas I'm just gluing down with my Oohoo glue stick, and I'm going to go around it with my Stabilo All pencil and activate it with a wet paintbrush just to give it a little bit of shadow. And then I will turn to, I thought it was a nice base for a sentiment. So I'll turn it to my, what are they? The Small Talk stickers from Tim Holtz. And I know I need something pretty small to go on this little tag. So I find the words, oh, I decided also to go around the edges, of the tag to frame it up just a little bit. I inked the other side, and so this side is getting Stabilo All. And then in a second, I will pull out my Small Talk stickers and look for something fairly small that will work on this tag and still kind of fit in with the card. And I found just the words "Stay Simple." So I cut it down, and because it's so stark white, I know that white needs to be pushed back. So I will use that inker and just go around the edges before I stick it down. And with that, I think that's this whole card, y'all. I really did try to keep it super simple and fast. I really like these prompts. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them Saturday. I guess I may pull out those die cuts I haven't used yet. Perfect excuse to do them. Alright guys, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And come back later and see what else I've got going on. I say that every time. If you're tired of hearing it, I apologize. I do appreciate that you've come and spent this time with me. Oh, well, look, I'm going to put some black splatter on this side as well. I forgot about that. It needed a little bit of black. Yup. Okay, I will try that, and then that will be all of this. Thank y'all so much. I will see y'all very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.